What's
The
up?
last, yeah, it's fantastic to
I
get to
know that.
speak
I
to you.
know that face. I'm sorry.
You might do, yeah. I've spoken to you in the past with H.E.A.T before, and the last time I saw you though was actually sat outside a bar in St Kilda.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Wow, that's so cool. Yeah,
So
and
if you
here we
could,
are.
and you'll be back again to see us in December. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yours,
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to speak to you, Eric. I must admit, because yours must be the hard rock story of the last decade.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty surreal in many ways. Yeah, it's so crazy, man. I'm still not sure what's going on here.
Yeah. It's so cool because I got to talk to Jonah the other day as well, and he could tell
Oh yeah,
how
that
happy
guy.
how happy he was for you. So
Yeah,
it's
that's cool, man.
wonderful.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, just I mean, just to fill everyone in, obviously you were the voice of H.E.A.T for a few years, and then you got pretty ill, gave away the music, got better, and you've now landed what I think was the job that no one previously could fill. But you're
Yeah,
sounding you are
yeah,
sounding absolutely amazing, my friend.
thank you so much. I think that pretty much sums it up. I mean, I was in Heat for 10 years. Before that, I was a solo artist. I did the TV show Idol in Sweden, and I was the singer of Heat for 10 years. And then I decided to try new things in life. I was heading in another direction. I was moving to South Africa, Cape Town. But then I got sick and I got stuck in Sweden at the hospital. And I did a lot of thinking at the hospital. And I told myself that if I make it out of here alive, I'm going to sing for the rest of my life, because I realized that was the most important thing to me in my life. And I wasn't really sure in what constellation, but I knew that when I get back on my feet, I'm going to find something and I'm going to do it wholeheartedly. And then Skid Row came along and asked me if I wanted to become a singer. So that's pretty convenient. So that door was open and I went right in. And yeah, here we are, six
Why wouldn't
months
you? Why
after
wouldn't you?
I got, yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
of course, we all saw you singing 18 in Life on Swedish Idol, or if you want to check out the internet, you can see that as well. It's a wonderful version. The thing I like about the new record, though, the name's a great name. I mean, it shows that you're all together in this. At what point
Yeah.
did you come in? Were the majority of the songs in the can, and you were sort of adding the vocals, or did you get involved?
Yeah, I didn't have to, all the songs were pretty much written when I joined the band, or they were. I just knew that I wanted to add my flavor to it. Like I wanted to. I want. Here's the thing: when you get asked by a band like Skid Row to record vocals on a new on new music, I think it's very easy to get into the mindset that you have to do something that the other guys like, you know, obviously, but that's also that might also be what scares that's a bit scary, trying to please other people. So instead of trying to figure out what they wanted, I took the fan perspective. I looked and listened to the songs, looked at everything they've been doing for all these years, and I was like, okay, this new material sounds like old school Skid Row. I know exactly what I want to do with these songs, and I'm going to do it my way. And if they like it, you know, I might actually end up getting the job. If they don't like it, well, at least I was true to myself. Um, because trying to figure out what other people like, it's just, you know, that won't make you happy, and I don't think the end result is going to be as good. So I was, and they told me just do what you normally do. But still, you have that. There's something in your head telling you that you should please these guys.
What was that? What was that first show like with the Scorpions?
You know, that was so they asked me if I wanted to join the band in end of February this year, and a month later, I had recorded 8 of the songs, so 80% of the album right here in this room. and I was in Vegas as the lead singer of Skid Row, opening up for Scorpions. Surreal in so many ways, and I was still very well, careful in a way. I've gotten to know my body very well after everything, so I was trying to calm myself in a way, because you always have this, it's always there when you go through something like, well, a cancer treatment. It's always like, will it come back? Is there a possibility of, this whole thing just falling apart again? But I was trying to balance that with, fuck no, I'm cured, I'm healthy, I'm gonna do this 100%. And I think I'm a bit of an introvert when it comes to big productions and big shows, and also a bit ignorant, because I don't look at the exposure or the attention it might get. I'm just so focused on the job at hand, and this is the show, this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm just very focused on myself, which we singers tend to be.
Yeah,
but yeah, it helps.
Yeah, you're not the first person to have made that comment about singers, but it's, I mean, it must have been wonderful. I mean, I just know from my circle of friends, we're all, and always have been, big Skid Row fans, and a few of them fell into the camp of get Sebastian back, all that sort of thing. And it's been going on for years now. People have always been saying that. But all of a sudden it stopped. And
oh, okay. That's cool.
Even from the most vocal of them as well. And I'm starting to think, yeah, this could work. And then when I actually heard the album, because I've only had it for a couple of days, the thing that I immediately loved about it is the fact there were no ballads on it. So it is really in your face. It is, but it's a wonderful,
it's rock and roll.
I mean, the first two Skid Row albums for me, any song on there is worthy of being a single, getting out there. This is the same. I mean, every song on here is fantastic. There are a few though that I did want to talk to you about. I mean, and I think that the one that I guess is going to be most different for fans is October's song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very type of song. But your vocals,
sorry. Keep going.
But your vocals on that, they're haunting. They're fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much. That was the most challenging song for me to sing. I was trying to get it right so many times. I wasn't happy with it. I redid it a couple of times, and I think it's just because of it's a long song, and you got to tell the story, and you got to keep it very dynamic. So I was trying to find the right balance. And I decided after a while, so I'm influenced and inspired by a lot of different singers, and sometimes when this is the way my mind works, when I hear a song, I go, okay, should I approach it the Freddie Mercury way or the Brian Johnson way, and then that's another tool in my tool belt that I use when I sing, and then obviously I add my own touch to it, but it's just to get that right, like hell or high water. That was I was going for something more Brian Johnson than anything else. But so October song, that was, to me, I took the Ian Gillan approach.
Right.
So Child in Time, I was really inspired by Child in Time. So you can actually hear, when you listen to October song, you can hear some part where I go something like that, and that's actually that's the inspiration I got from Child in Time. So I use like old influences and singers and songs like a tool when I record my own music.
That was so weird that you mentioned Gillan, because that's exactly what I was thinking when I heard that line.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's cool. Yeah.
Take us all the way back then. You mentioned a bit about influences there and the fact that you can I guess channel that and apply it to certain songs. But who were your heroes originally growing up? Who were some of the first singers that you you love that you've sort of, I guess, taken with you on your journey?
My first hero, and the reason I started playing guitar, and because I started playing guitar before I was singing, was Elvis. So the 60s, 50s, and 60s music, I still consider Little Richard to be one of the best frontmen out there.
Yeah, I think we talked about Sun Studios last time we spoke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I just love that kind of music, and so that's the, if we go way back, this is when I was 10 or 12. That's when I picked up the guitar the first time, and I was playing Elvis songs and Chuck Berry, and that kind of music. And then when I got into singing, I started, I was in a band in high school, and the guitarist of that band introduced me to a lot of great bands and singers. We were kind of like sharing music, and he introduced me to Skid Row. And obviously, when I was working as a karaoke host, trying to make it in the music industry, I was trying to sing like Sebastian Bach. I remember, I want to hit that high note. I was that was the way I was rehearsing and practicing. And also Bon Scott, Freddie Mercury, obviously. He's got the whole package. He's a great songwriter, great musician, great artist, great performer. Also, Ian Gillan, Sammy Hagar. Yeah. The list goes on. John Fogerty. I also want to mention John Fogerty, because I think he's like the most underrated rock singer of all time, in a way, because he's never on any of these lists where people mention the singers that inspired them. But listen to some of the early Creedence stuff. It's incredible. He's such a great rock singer. So I love his voice.
Yeah, and then I think the games will hear. I mean, the best thing about it for me, as I said, is the fact that every track on there is killer. I think that it's interesting for me as someone who reviews and writes about music, because of the fact there's been so many great albums out this year already, but now I've just heard the best, and I can't see.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's so cool.
It's stunning. I don't think anyone could have seen it coming. I mean, much as I've loved Skid Row all the way through, it's almost like everything's just happened right. And
you know what? I've actually had. Sorry, keep going. Sorry for interrupting you. Sorry.
That's okay. The stuff that Rachel's written on there is wonderful. I think it's his best. Some of the best music he's written.
Yeah. I mean, I come from a fan perspective as well, and I realize, and I know, I understand the perspective of people wanting the original lineup. I mean, obviously, I understand the band's history, and so I can see that. I mean, I prefer the Bon Scott era compared to this era, and Brian Johnson is the new singer, and he's been around since 1980. But that's how it is. But that being said, I've had people contact me on Instagram and apologizing for, at first they were like, "Oh, another singer," and just the regular comments that you used to see. But they've actually apologized and pretty much said, "I'm so sorry for hating on you when I first found out, but now I just have to say I love it. I love you, and I was wrong." So that's the ultimate compliment for me, obviously. That you can turn haters into believers and followers, and that's what I that makes everything worth it.
It must be wonderful.
All the hard work you put in.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. It must be wonderful to hear that. I've got a mate who saw you when you played Henderson, and he was blown away. He thought it was fantastic.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Reviewed the album, giving it a 10 out of 10. So
wow.
We're not allowed to share that though until September, apparently. The label don't.
Well, I will keep my mouth shut. I might tell the guys.
But it's wonderful. I've got to ask you these two questions. I never asked you them when you were in H.E.A.T, but if you could have been a fly on the wall for the creation of any great album, this is just going to go on our radio show. What would you love to have been there for, to see the magic happen in the studio?
Wow. Wow.
Is it this album? It's this album, isn't it? It's The Gang's All Here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, being in Nashville a couple of months before I recorded everything here. You know what? First thing that comes to mind, which usually is the right thing, is a night at the opera, Queen. Just being in that same room, hearing those geniuses discuss and seeing how they create the magic that is on that album. It's, you know, that would be so cool just to get in, just to hear the conversation and get in the Freddie Mercury mindset in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah, A Night at the Opera, that's the one.
It is one of the all-time classics, and one that so many of us will draw inspiration from. You're over in Australia with Skid Row, and also Reckless Love supporting as well, which they were great when they were over here earlier last year. So
yeah,
it should be a fantastic show all around. Great to be back in Australia. Did you enjoy yourself last time you were here?
Oh yeah, I did. I was just there for a couple of days though. So this time I'm gonna be, well, we have more shows. So I'm gonna be there a few more days, but really excited to go back. It's just so far away. So I think we would be there more often if it wasn't such a long way, long journey. But
I can just see I can just see wonderful things ahead for you and Skid Row. It's like one of those things to me, it's like the perfect storm. Fantastic singer who I mean, I've loved your work since I first heard those vocals on the first H.E.A.T album that you're on, and I just knew it would work. And you're proving all of the doubts is wrong. So I hear it's even better live. So what could we?
Oh wow, okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. We'll see what you think after the show. But what I wanted to say was just that it feels like I've only been to Australia one time, but it feels like there's always been a great support from the Australian fans and followers, even when I was in H.E.A.T. Like it's, you make yourself heard, and it's so. I wish I would have, I'm just really excited to go back there and also to meet the Skid Row fans, and hopefully a few H.E.A.T fans as well.
Yeah, I think there'll be a few of everything. I've got a couple of albums I'm going to try and get you to sign when you're over here. So
okay, yeah, cool.
We'll see how we go. I'd just like to do one more thing for us, if you could. We've got a radio show now, which is also called the Rockpit. I'd love if you could just introduce any of the singles. I guess the latest one. Just introduce yourself and the song.
Tear It Down. Yeah, sure. Are you ready? Hey everybody, this is Erik Grönwall of Skid Row. You're listening to the Rockpit, and this is Tear It Down.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, sir. It's absolutely great to see you again, and hopefully we'll catch up with you when you're over in December. Oh yeah, great to see you again, and thanks for having me. Take care and stay safe, mate. Thank you. You too. Thank you very much. Thanks, Erik. Bye. Bye.